guess now it's time for me to talk about what Dave Meltzer had to say.
That's right, it's time to find out what did Dave Meltzer say.
Well, you know what?
I mean, I'd have to give that 5 stars.
Rumor has it that Mabel is going to be the third guy. So this is coming from the September... Shit, I can't remember now. I think it's like the September 3rd or something like that. Wrestling Observer. And these are notes that someone's made after reading what Dave had to say. Lots of news coming out of WCW TV this week between Nitro and the Saturday night tapings. Nitro ended with an angle involving Hogan, Nash, and Hall spray painting the letters NWO on several WCW wrestlers. The angle had nuclear heat, and once again the ring was pelted with garbage by the fans. On the same show, Ted DiBiase debuted as the 4th member of the NWO and teased that next week there will be a 5th member revealed. The plan is for it to be Sean Waltman. Okay, remember that. The plan is for it to be Sean Waltman. But if his WWF release situation isn't sorted out by then, they may have to go with a backup plan. The terms of Waltman's release are said to not allow him to portray a character with the look or mannerisms of the 1-2-3 Kid, which obviously leaves a lot of room for interpretation. As for DiBiase, he's expected to basically be a manager for the NWO and won't be wrestling. Nitro also set its all-time ratings record this week since Raw was preempted. It was preempted by the US Open. Okay. Kev, what did you think of what Dave had to say here?
Well, he's always got his little get out if he's wrong, you know.
Yeah.
It's always the case. If he gets the release, though, they have to go with someone else. So if it is not what he says it is, he's always got, but I said the release never came through, so technically I was right.
Blade.
I mean, I guess the other thing is, though, is that, like, yes, it's very heavily alluded to that he is going to be the 4th man for the NWO, but, like, it's not 100% confirmed at this point either, right? Like, him flashing the 4 could easily be, like, the 4 horsemen, which is said on the show. So, like, I don't know. If you're looking at it from, like, a rounded perspective, it's like, even then, like, you're saying that it's confirmed when it's actually not. Like, there's been no, like, introduction of him as the 4th member. Like,
he hasn't been seen with them.
No. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of interpretation from good old fucking Uncle Dave.
The next part, there's 2 more paragraphs to read out for you guys.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
At the tapings for WCW's other shows, Juventud Guerrera, Super Callow, and Chris Jericho all debuted. Dave noted that Juventud also wrestled on Nitro and did an interview after the match, which was a disaster because he barely speaks English, which led to Guerrero getting booed even though he was the face. This is what I don't think you guys are going to be happy with what he says here next. And it was made even worse by Gene Okerlund just walking away from him while he was talking, leaving Juventud standing there like an idiot. I recognize in some circles, Okerlund has a reputation for being great at handling interviews because he's got the wit. But in reality, he's absolutely horrible in his job, which should be to allow the wrestlers to get over, particularly new ones, and not for him to be the star of the television show. We are big fans of Gene on this show.
We are huge fans. We're huge Gene marks.
Blade, how do you react?
You listen here, you little shit. I am gonna. But honestly, like, okay, Gene didn't handle it the best. Like, it was a bit awkward, and I think Gene probably could have called it a little bit earlier, seeing that it was going south. I can agree with that to an extent. But the fact of the matter is like, fuck, man, it's live TV and he's making decisions on the fly. Like, okay, he flubbed something. Like, he's not fucking horrible at his job. the dude's like one of the best interviewers I've ever fucking seen, if not my favorite, like of all time. And I've seen him in 10 episodes so far. So like, you know, it's I hate you so much. I'm so mad. This segment.
Man, he is good at his job. There are times where people are struggling and he manages to, because he's so experienced, figure a way to turn it around. You know, with someone struggling, you can see that Gene jumps in from time to time to keep things flowing. Kev, do you have anything to follow up here?
Gene's the GOAT. Dave, eat a dick.
Yeah, see, I did that full rant, and I think Kev got his point across just so much better than I did.
He's not good at his job. Get the fuck out of here.
So annoying. And the last thing he says here, Glacier debuted at one of the tapings after months of hype. Dave said he was wearing a ring outfit similar to Max Moon in the WWF and does mostly kickboxing moves. So the guy who's writing notes on this has now written in brackets, Dave seems completely oblivious to the fact that Glacier was meant to be a ripoff of Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. So he's so uncool that he doesn't even know what the fuck this thing is. They tried out a gimmick where he wrestled in blue lighting because he allegedly has superpowers. And since his blood runs cold, lights are his weakness. And then Dave says, hey, I'm not coming up with this. I just report it. Then he said, it's still expected Glacier will be part of a group called Blood Runs Cold. Indie wrestler Jerry Flynn got a tryout and used martial arts moves and is expected to be a part of the group. And the guy who wrote the notes on this just wrote in brackets note, because that does not happen. It's like he just gets so much wrong in that paragraph. Kev.
What's like,
wrong with him?
I don't. He doesn't. He just reports it. Where would you get this shit from? Like
someone's fucking with him. Sure.
Okay, just say you got that from a source. Wouldn't you still be like, are they taking the piss out of me? Is this true? They're taking the piss. They've got to be taking the piss out of me here. That's what I'd be thinking. Supernatural powers, and he doesn't like light. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, being a wrestler is probably not going to be for you.
Yeah, because his blood runs cold, so lights are his weakness. So
hey, I'm signed with WCW. If you don't mind, I just can't wrestle with any lights. Okay, if that's part of the deal. Okay, cool. We're all that's cool. We can do that.
Superpowers, Blade. Do you have anything to follow up here?
Oh God.
Even I'm a nerd, and I think that's shit. Even that, I'm just like, God, that's loser shit right there. Holy shit! Like, I think the thing that's the most egregious to me in the whole thing is like, how can he not understand that it's a Mortal Kombat reference? Like, if you are a journalist, surely you have some awareness of like pop culture, things in the mainstream, or like maybe you do your job and do like a little background research into other things to create links to better inform the stories that you tell.
Does he not have any friends that watch wrestling too that they might be like, oh man, do you see that Glacier guy? They're really amping up all the vignettes on him. I mean, I don't really understand the character. He kind of looks like Max Moon from WWF. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, have you not played Mortal Kombat? Oh no, I don't have time for video games. Because I'm too busy watching, a New Japan Pro Wrestling and.
It's like Mortal Kombat sold like millions of copies.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an excuse not to be informed, especially in an area where it's like wrestling is taking like a lot of beats from pop culture. Like, surely you've made links between other characters that have popped up and things in pop culture before.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all I've got to. That's all I got to talk about with Dave Meltzer for this episode, guys.
I think that was the dumbest thing he's ever said so far.
If you talk badly about Gene again, we will hunt you down. I swear to God.
Something about Dave Meltzer, like I don't know. He's so infuriating, but it's almost to the point where it's starting to pop me that it's like it's a parody of a journalist. It's like it's a parody of itself.
The
I
thing,
don't know.
the thing is that basically I view him as like the Perez Hilton of the wrestling world. It's like you're a fucking scum sucker who, like, for some reason, people pay attention to what you think, and you've set yourself up in such a way that like you're seen as like an authority on a thing that you really like shouldn't be, because you aren't actually part of the industry. You're a guy that just benefits from the industry.
He's a super fan. I wouldn't take that away from him. Obviously, he's a massive fan of wrestling, but I remember once, and we'll get off Dave in a second, but I remember once listening to him trying to talk about what a casual wrestling fan was. And like after like a couple of minutes, I was like, you don't know, you have no idea what you're talking about. He doesn't understand what it means. And you know, next episode, I'm gonna find the quotes and I'm gonna talk about that because he could not understand what that meant. He doesn't understand that it's a casual television viewer is a casual wrestling fan. Like I'm
You
not
know
gonna
how
go there, you know?
you know how you were saying that you wanted to record like a new intro for the "What did Dave Meltzer say" segment? You should use that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.